We'll call this Jackson County Commission, February 10th, 2020 to order. Roll call, Mr. Manning.
Mr. Rich?
Present.
Mr. Venable?
Present.
Ms. Gilbert?
Present.
Mr. Sis? Present. Chairman present, also.
We have a quorum. We'll have a prayer by Mr. Porter and a pledge by Ms. Gilbert.
God, our Father, we're thankful to be here today. We're thankful for each and every day that you give us on this earth. We're thankful for all our blessings, the things that you provide for us each and every day. We're thankful for this commission that takes time of their lives to work on the matters that are important to this community and to this county. We pray you'll be with them and give them wisdom and guide them through this work. We're thankful for their families as they give them up to be here today and other times when they work in the county. Pray you'll continue to watch over us all, guide us every day. In Christ's name. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we need to approve the agenda.
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second. A motion, a second. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? We have no awards presentation. No one signed up to speak. We have one, under old business, we have motion to approve the minutes from the following meeting. The work sessions November 12th, or November, December, and it was like February.
I'll make the motion.
Got a motion? Ms. Gilbert, all in favor, say aye. All opposed? On the new business. First one, be a motion to approve changing the agenda format in the policy and procedures. Got a motion?
I'll second.
A second, all in favor, say aye. All opposed? Number two, will be a motion to approve the smoking and vaping policy.
Okay, I was just asked to bring up, do we need to make this totally tobacco free? Just for some of the people. Any thoughts on that? I mean, it's very hard to enforce any of the others, so that's what I was asking.
It's up to the commission. The only reason this got brought up was to be able to put no smoking at some of the entry points.
Okay.
It was bothering some of the people walking in. So that's what, and then the policy as far as the vehicles, it was added in 2010. There's some reason it didn't get put into it was in the minutes, but it didn't get put in the policy.
Okay.
So
Just
that,
clarification as far
Yeah.
as in the vehicles? Okay.
so
Thank
that was
you.
it.
So the position that they're gonna have to be in, is that under the pavilion, is that correct?
Yeah.
The gazebo?
Gazebo.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion? We get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion to approve and sign a resolution regarding the County Road 21 Safety Project Grant.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye. All opposed? Next, we have motion to approve the project agreement for resurfacing on County Road 61.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye. All opposed? Number five, be a motion to accept County Road 743 into the Cumberland Estates into county inventory.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye. All opposed?
I abstain.
Mr. Red will abstain. Next be number six, be a motion to accept hiring committee's recommendation for the vacant temporary custodian position for the maintenance department.
I'll make that motion.
Is that letter in here? I feel that's gonna turn it.
It is.
I'll second the motion.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor say aye. All opposed? 7, be a motion to accept hiring committee's recommendations for the vacant nutrition center manager position, grade 2, for the council on aging.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor say aye. All opposed? Number 8, be a motion to approve the change of the org chart for the sanitation department.
Do we have a copy of that?
We got a little discussion, huh?
It was something, what it is she just sent it to me. Now I've got the, what it is they're wanting to do a temporary, we haven't filled Ms. Green's position. So she's wanting to do just like a temporary for a while until they fill that position for 2 days a week to help answer the phone, get some of the stuff done. So that's what, this is just for a temporary, at $10 an hour for a couple days a week.
How many months is this gonna be duration?
We won't even be 3 months.
3 months?
Yeah, I mean, it'll just be until we can get time to do the interviewing process and get all that done, get somebody in there. They're just running extremely behind.
So do we have to change the organizational chart to add a temporary?
I don't know if we have to, I just put it on there in case we did.
I'll make a motion to table it to a little further discussion for the next work session that could be agreeable. So we can understand exactly what they're asking for a little more.
I mean, I can explain it now. I mean, it's, for 2 days a week, somebody to answer the phone. And it would just be a temporary spot. It won't be a full-time position. It would just be somebody for a couple days a week until we hire somebody for the full-time position.
I'm fine with doing that, the number 9, but the number 8, changing the organizational chart, if it's just temporary, I don't see any.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we can strike number 8.
Okay. And I think, I'm like Mr. Bennell, I can go along with number 9.
All right, so number 9 be a motion to approve our attempt for the sanitation.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
That's gonna be for a short time, what you said. correct?
Yes, until they get somebody hired.
All right, okay.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Next be, reports from staff. Mr. Manning? Mr. Campbell?
Thank you, Chairman,
You're welcome.
Commissioners.
You're welcome.
I do have one thing quickly, and exciting, not boring. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanna talk a little bit about 17, provide some more information. We have selected a choice for repair, and I wanna make sure we all understand what that repair includes and involves, and I wanna make sure that we can recite that to our constituents. So I'm gonna go through this quickly, stop me if you have questions, then after we do an overview of this repair, I wanna talk a little bit about the dollars and how I see that shaking out. So this is a profile view, basically a section view of a 450-foot long repair. So this is landslide shoring. This is the upside, uphill face of this. This will be cut on a 1-to-1, and this high tensile mesh will be secured with soil nails. Also, you'll notice that in the diagram, this accounts for drainage of that landslide shoring slope. This will come down in 5-foot lifts, and as it comes down, all of this will be removed. You'll notice the dotted line, which is the existing ground line. This excavation will have to daylight downslope and some places off of right of way. We'll talk more about that later. Once this excavation floor is reached, this is gonna take near 17 feet to get down to the floor to where it was determined by the soil information that our geotechnical reports provided that must be removed. Once we're down to this base level, then grouted columns on a 4x4 spacing will go into that subsurface to stabilize the areas that there was concern of karst activity, high groundwater, as you probably recall, incompetent limestone, to get down to where we're at a bedrock that there is confidence will support this new road profile that's gonna be reestablished. Now, it's important to picture just how many grouted columns we're talking about. These are only 4-inch diameter columns, but they're on a 4x4 spacing. So it's that road That new road base, 18 foot down, is gonna look like a pin cushion with all the columns going down the bedrock through this subsurface. Once that has been established, then atop those columns is a load transfer platform that'll be constructed. That's GCS construction, so that's basically compacted layers of stone with geotextile fabric in between the layers. This acts like the columns of the bridge. This acts like the bridge deck to transfer the load to the columns. 400 feet of this, okay? Once that's established, then this embankment fill or road base fill or just roadway material will be reconstructed in conjunction with this GCS wall. The GCS wall technology is essentially the same as that load transfer platform. Compacted layers of stone and geotextile fabric to construct this. So this does a couple of things. It eliminates our footprint aside from clearing limits. So now we're back within the road profile, but it also acts as a counterweight for this road base that's gonna be constructed. The load transfer platform will act as a drainage way if we do have elevated groundwater levels like what triggered the failure. And all of the GCS wall will be a free draining face that contains that road base. So, when you get questions about, can't we just take our track hose out there and dig this thing out and fix this thing and get on with life? The answer is no. If we wanna fix it properly, then oftentimes that means some complex solutions based on what's going on in the ground. But as we've had to painfully learn, we have to totally assess the conditions that are underneath the ground, within the subsurface, what's going on to trigger these failures, before we can arrive at a comprehensive solution that takes specialized geotechnical practices to solve. So when you're faced with those questions out there, and I know you have been, and I'm sorry, then it's these type of answers that show us that we just can't go out there and level over something or throw some dirt in a hole or take our track hoe and dig and fix it. It's gotta be fixed, and oftentimes when it's this big of a deal, those fixes are complicated. So, any questions before I move on to dollars?
Yeah, 3.
Mr. Vanderbilt, question 1.
The 4x4 grout, column,
Yes, sir.
are they reinforced or are they just the grout itself, sheer strength of the grout itself, what we're depending on?
So as I understand it, it's basically an inverted soil mill. It has a sacrificial bit and grout column that's drilled.
Okay.
It creates that void that also allows for that grout to fill that void space.
How much distance between the edge of the road and the fabric wall? We'll have a substantial shoulder?
Yes, we will have a shoulder, and this will require guardrail.
Okay. The old road bed, how much pavement was there where it just been built up to try to patch and fix?
4, 5, 6 feet.
So
That was the point I wanted to bring up.
yeah, I mean, that is the way it's been fixed in the past. It's just been build it up till it's even.
Yeah,
And
we
it
can-
sinks again, we'll build it up till it's even.
We can hide it.
Right, so that's throwing good money after bad. This should fix the problem.
Yes.
So when everybody says, just take your dozer out there and fix it where we can get down it, I mean,
We can do that.
we can do that easy, but if it comes another rain like we do now, I mean, I wanna do it right. myself.
Here's the thing too, if you'll think back, in the summertime, if we just went down there and done that, with the amount of rain that we've gotten, I feel confident that it would have slid again.
Correct.
And since we're on that subject on 93, I did call the fire chief today because there's been some question about if there's a fire in, Long Island, area, that because the road's closed, the fire trucks couldn't get down there. So I found out today the fire trucks have never run down there, and they said they will never run down there. They have an agreement with New Hope, and New Hope is the one that goes, when it puts it brings the fire engines, and our guys go down there, and they said that the last fire they had, they actually beat New Hope to the fire going off, the new way off Mountain, so even with that down, I just wanna make sure everybody feels confident that is, if you got a fire, this being down is not gonna affect it in any way.
And getting back to 17, you know, the summer before this slide, I was out there with you and the gentleman from Atlanta, and it was a time bomb ticking then. So we knew something had to be done, and I would rather fix it permanently than put a Band-Aid on it. So I agree with this.
So we have an opportunity, when we talk about, you know, a makeshift fixed or a permanent repair, and that opportunity exists in funding, and I wanna talk a little bit about that, how I see that shaking out. Now, at this point, a lot of this is a guess, okay? We're just not far enough along to be able to dial this in, but I wanna run through this as an exercise. So, this thing that we approved and agreed upon is $611,000. I simplified it some to show the contractor portion here. Now, we're gonna pay for that work as it happens, and we're gonna be reimbursed 80%, okay? So this is gonna cost us this much to do that work, alright? We're also gonna have a large portion of this project, and everything except the specialized geotech work, the county is basically gonna be responsible with performing in conjunction with their guidance, under their design, essentially. I estimate that roughly at that right now. That's an unknown. We are also gonna get 80% reimbursement for that, okay? Now, our revenue for doing work is still gonna come in on what those guys would have been working on, but they're gonna be working on this. And we're gonna be reimbursed that, for that amount of work. So the difference in that is this, okay? So if I'm anywhere close to right, when all this is said and done, we can fix this thing and fix it right, and hopefully walk away with this. Now, that puts us in a much better position to take on number 2 than we're set here presently, okay? So, I just wanna go through all that.
100% agree with this.
Any questions? Thank you.
Well, if we can get it finalized with what these right here is, the figures, and it's gonna be something that's gonna be a stable thing from now on, that's gonna be a great deal. You know, what I'm saying? Like you said, Josh, it's been covered up over and over. I went out there a few times, and it's pretty deep for the asphalt. So I think we're correct.
Just the weight alone from the asphalt's a lot of pressure on that slide.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Porter,
All right, thank you.
Mr. Sis,
I've got a couple different things. The PRV committee that was established, brought to us by the board, they are a very discouraged bunch. They've mentioned to me, some of them come to me, and, well, I understand it, I don't really know, I told them I wished I wouldn't bother this part right here, but they, kind of been, their hands been tied as far as getting their 501c number, I think what's going on, they couldn't get it all together, and they went back, to the board, and basically what it sounds like, the board just decided to keep it. You know, they're not gonna give them much chance as far as moving forward. They said something about coming in and getting an appraisal and maybe looking after that, so. I don't know if there's anything we can do, you know, we formed a board, but I told them I'd bring it up and see where it's at from there. So, that's, one of them. The other one, Mr. Chairman, what I brought up, I brought this up several times, it's been brought up to me different times. Question is, what regards gives you the privilege to take the truck and drive it as your own?
that's what, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
As your own?
I don't drive one as my own.
Well, I mean, you're driving it back and forth, you know, as far as, you know, working out for you. I said, like, before, I told him, I said, I don't have a problem before with it being second premises. But, as far as the personal gain, I said, well, just, what do you feel like that is the privilege that you said something about before, that you had the responsibility to take it and do it as what you please. Now, I just wanted to see what the question answer would be.
The reason behind it was at 58 cents a mile, I was spending more than what it costs. That one we got at a real cheap price, $5,000. And for the amount of money that even at 58 cents a mile, we were paying a lot more than if I drove, so I was trying to save the county money.
So
And
58
Mr.
cents-
Manning about, if you got any questions about it, he can answer it.
But the 58 cents a mile is allowed for you to do that? For
Yeah,
you to charge?
if I'm going, yeah, like,
I mean, I
I'm
understand
I'm
it's
at
going,
home.
that's what I said, I understand if it's going to Google, if it's going to Montgomery or some kind of business deal.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, that's what I was looking at, you know, the position that I guess that I've had issues with, and the people that's been bringing it up to me, was driving it back and forth to home. You know, so I'm just speaking from my standpoint,
Alright,
and, I just didn't feel like it was the right thing to do.
that it?
Other thing I wanted to say was, man standing back there in the corner, I can't say enough for him right there. Paul come into position that, when Felix, we lost Felix, I mean, a great man that we can never replace, but this man has stepped up and done an outstanding job, and I just wanna commend him personally right here myself.
Thank you,
for what
Mr.
you've
Stevens,
done.
appreciate that.
That's all.
Ms. Gilbert?
Just echo what he said about Paul. It's been a rough couple of months. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
And same thing to you, Carl. It's been a rough few weeks. Thank you very much for hanging in there with us. And appreciate you, Jonathan, and look out for tonight.
Mr. Riddle?
Yeah, in your folders, I have a letter I'd like for all of you to read. And consider sending it to the delegation at our next regular meeting. Just take out a few to read it, just something, got to think about it over the weekend. Wrote, and I had Anna put it on her letterhead, so. Y'all would just read that, and consider it.
Mr. Rich? Oh, sorry, that's
That's
Rich.
all I got.
I just like to have everyone's prayers for Jackson County still. It's still going through a tough time. I mean, everybody, it's gonna take a while to heal, but it's getting better every day. Just everybody, keep everybody in Jackson County in their prayers. Work Carl and Carl's done, all the volunteer fire departments, all the fire departments, EMA, emergency, medical, rescue squads. I know I can't name them all, but they done an outstanding job. Everybody, time to come up to play, everybody done a good job. And I'm just happy to, sort of say, I'm sad to see things to come out the way that they do, but sometimes it takes something tragic to bring a community together. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you. I got two things. One is, we done Facebook Live tonight, we're just kinda doing it for, get all the kinks worked out of it. And then we'll start doing on the budgets after each meeting. And then that way people will kinda know where our money's coming in and where it's going out. So I hope everybody enjoys that. The other thing is DHR building. Just kinda give everybody, need to start thinking about what we want to do with that building. So, on the next work session, I'll put it on there, so we'll be giving it some thought on whatever you need to do to that building. And with that,
Mr. Chairman, when we go over the Facebook Live with the revenues and expenditures, could the departments list the responsibilities? Cause a lot of people don't understand what some of the departments are responsible for. So if they could just come in with a list of their, especially their main jobs, main duties, and people understand where that money's going from.
okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Mr. Sis has asked us to go into executive session for pending litigation. So I need a motion to go into, oh, I'm sorry, Carl, I'm sorry about that.
I'd just like to give y'all an update on the cleanup,
Yeah,
okay, very
Yes, sir.
quick. They've been there 2 weeks, be 2 weeks today.
Yeah.
They got held up to about that Wednesday, so really they haven't been working on about a week and a half, cause, they don't work on weekends. So, by Friday, they hope to be out of there. They got the old dock cleaned up, they'll skim the bottom again, and then they're picking up debris as they go. restore some of the shoreline and then plant some grass back. So we're looking, hopefully by the end of this weekend, they should be out of there.
Very good.
Cleanup's going great.
Thank you, sir, for the update.
Thank you. Need a motion to go into executive session.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, the record should reflect that the commission has the authority to go into executive session to discuss threatened or pending or litigation.
Okay.
Are y'all gonna adjourn when you come back?
Yeah, so I'm afraid I went ahead and had everybody stay.